All right, we are back in Studio One, and originally we were planning on not doing a podcast this week because Oj is off joining the cartel in Mexico. But we are very fortunate to have somebody stepping in to pinch hit for our 150 hitter Oj, and we're bringing in none other than Hancock native Shane Burcar. So Shane, welcome to Studio One today.
Well, it's a privilege to be here, Crouchy, and you talk about Oj. Oj, you're going to be really happy I'm here because it'll guarantee a 5-year contract of my performance that everybody will want Oj back. So, but I'm happy to be here. It's cool, great spot. Maybe this summer we can get back out and go out to Studio 2.
Yeah, that would be great.
It's a nice setup out there.
Well, let's kind of start by talking about why you're in town here in March. It's kind of a bittersweet thing. It's always great to see you, and I'm sure you enjoy getting back in the area. But in town visiting for a funeral for a close friend, and actually did a little bit of a eulogy yesterday to kind of a little celebration of life for Copper Country legend Bob Backon.
He's a legend. So I said yesterday when I spoke at the funeral, Steve Back and I, we've been like brothers. That we never had brothers, right? For over 50 years, and as you go through life, I think you become stronger. We have a great text thread, and Bob passed away, and celebration of life more than anything with him. But good time. Jason Ritchie spoke also, and Steve did an unbelievable job.
All three of you guys, and let me just tell you from there, there's about a half hour that was very difficult to sit through because there's a lot of emotions from all three of you guys speaking. But what a wonderful job both you and Jason did, and then Steve to get up there in that situation was very nice to see. Very proud of all three of you from my perspective.
No, it was special. Steve asked me to speak at it, and I was like, I'd be honored to. And the one thing I talked about, you and I grew up essentially together too in Tamarack, riding our bikes and buzzing all over the place, and going to the Dairyland and getting different dip tops and stuff like that. I don't know if they still have it. They had the best dip tops around, but I was fortunate as a kid to have good friends and still have good friends and father figures all the way around. My dad's a great guy, but I think growing up you had father figures, and Bob Backon most certainly was that for me, and his wife Sandra, who has passed before Bob. And like I said, Bob, celebration of life in his 80s. Everyone knows him around here as the official, or Steve and Nina's dad, or the teacher at Houghton. Or back in the day, he used to coach with Fritz Wilson. I know Fritz Wilson from the Houghton days, and Christian Wilson from the Chassel days. But no, it was a celebration of life. And a couple of tidbits that I went over is just his love for the Lions.
Yeah.
And he had that quick temper, and he'd laugh on a dime too, and with that laugh of his. But he was all about. But Steve even said like, his favorite team actually was whoever the Packers were playing, because the Lions, as we know, have not had much success. We're all rooting for Dan Campbell to a certain extent, but and then whether you're at the house with the Pistons or the Tigers or whatever. And I know in your world, I remember I went down to Detroit with him. He officiated a state championship game for football. Did.
Steve and I were talking about that yesterday. We played, I think it was '96.
Okay.
And we had played Fowler in the 10 a.m. game, and then Bob was officiating the game right after us, and it was Granville and I forget who it was, but Granville was on our sideline and Bob was on that same sideline, and I know that was a thrill for him as an official.
Oh, he was so proud of it. He invited me to go, and so I went with Steve and Nina. I think Nina brought a friend, and and we went with Sandra, watched him officiate, which I think it helps me as a coach, because it's a whole different world with officiating.
Yes.
You'd watch an NBA game and number 65, you know the guy's name because of his number. And obviously to get that, that's an honor for officials.
It is.
To get into a state championship game. Now you can look this up. We went to Thanksgiving game too. I think they were playing the Chiefs. The Lions were playing the Chiefs, and Marcus Allen broke, would it be Walter Payton or Jim Brown's record for a Thanksgiving?
Boy, that
has been broke since.
Yeah.
But Marcus Allen he finished up his career with the Chiefs.
I assume the Lions lost that day.
I guess he played. So yeah, I guess so.
And in my experience with Bob is obviously growing up as an athlete, he was always officiating. you know, and Jason had a good point there too, is that he always acknowledged you. He always wanted you to know that you were special. And now, as I kind of wrap up my 30-year teaching career, I go back and I student taught with Mr. Backon. You know, I spent,
you told me that last night.
Yeah,
That's great.
so I started my teaching career in his classroom under his tutelage. And
so no, think about that though, Crouchy. That's 60 years in a copper country combined.
Yeah.
Of teaching kids, and like you saw people out there, how they have Mr. B, Mr. Backon, but that's what it's about, leaving a legacy. And he would never say a bad word about anybody, whether it was a Houghton guy, Hancock guy, Lakeland, and he knew everything going on with everybody. He rooted for everybody.
Yes, he did. And then, you know, and again, everybody knew him in some different role, whether it was a classroom, as an official, heck, as the mayor of Houghton, or just maybe the breakfast coffee clutch at McDonald's.
Yeah, or the Cleveland group. I'll tell one quick story. Is Friday, he passed late on a Saturday night, and it's one of those things where you don't want to make the call, but you want to make the call. Yeah. And I called Steve, and I talked to Bob, and he called me Shannon. Hey Shannon, how you doing? And talked about the city council, and I was making a joke. Hey, you got council meeting tonight? And Bob would always go along with the joke. And he said, no meeting tonight. And then he knows the end is coming on that. And then, of course, he said, oh, love you, Shane. I said, love you, Bob. And then, but still talking about my game, like, Bob. Right? That's not the point. But he cared about other people so much. And as you mentioned, Crouchy, what Steve did yesterday was amazing. And Jason Ritchie did a good job, too. So it was good to see everybody celebrating the life of Bob Backon.
And definitely a big loss for the Copper Country. And, you know, whether you knew him closely or not, everybody knew who he was, and he was a figurehead. So, sad day for the Copper Country, but nice to celebrate the life of somebody who did so much for all of us.
And I think in those situations too, he's still here because of the effect he had on the Copper Country and his community. And that's one of the things I said is thank you for everything you've done, and it's still an impact here, even though he's gone.
Yeah, for sure. So we're happy you're here. We're not happy with the circumstances, but
yeah,
you know,
Bob would want us to do this.
Bob would want us to do this.
Go have fun.
So
come on,
guys. Put together a cool little graphic. We'll get released with this here for the
that's a great graphic. I've seen
to honor him as well. Let's kind of shift gears. We got to give a big congrats to the Ishpeming Hematites girls hoops winning another state title. That's 2 in 3 years. I'm going to assume you have not watched 1 second of Ishpeming girls basketball.
I do have a question though. Is any Brandon Sager relations on that team?
I don't believe so. They're Ryan Riegel is the coach, so congrats to Coach Riegel. There's a girl, Emmer girl, I believe, taller. She had like 18 points, 17 boards, 9 blocks yesterday. She's going to Baylor to play volleyball.
I was going to say she played even Baylor in volleyball. So how did she go to Baylor?
I don't know the story.
That's impressive.
It is. And then the Eagle girl had another big day, and she's, I believe, going to be playing up at Michigan Tech next year.
Good.
So congrats to Ishpeming right there.
So what's D4 mean?
That's Class D.
Class D. Okay. So that's
the
still
smallest division.
So when I was growing A, B, C, D, it's still here.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
So we got.
So where does 8-man football go into this?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
I try to give you a layup there.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll be playing 3-man basketball at some point if numbers continue to drop. But anyway.
So here, my wife, who is 4 years younger than I, now she's not going to be impressed, but let me make sure who she is. Julie Steinkamp, Julie Burcar now. She is old enough, and her friends, Brenda Stork, they're old enough, they played 6-on-6 basketball in Iowa.
6-on-6 basketball?
Swear to God. So they had 3 offensive players and 3 defensive players. Now think about that. Like, this isn't so Julie's a class of 95 in Iowa, Carol Kemper, and they played, I think her freshman year, they played 6-on-6, and the rest of it was 5-on-5. Like, that's old, coach.
Holy Mackinac, yeah.
And she's younger than us. So, at least the state of Michigan was a little more progressive than the state of Iowa.
Yeah, which we could say that on many fronts. But
yes.
Let's jump. We'll get into this random sports stuff. last night we couldn't really tape the podcast last night when we were kind of hanging out with the boys. But
Yeah.
let's just talk about some sports. I guess touch on the NCAA tournament, which we got on right now, and then any other things you want to bring up that our tens of fans you think might want to listen to. What's your take on the tournament so far? After today, we'll be down to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Well, I think the NCAA tournament has changed. Obviously, I live in that world. I think the upsets that we have seen in the past are not over, but the number is going to be lower than ever. I think the big boys, if you will, the Power Fours will be the teams representing the Sweet 16, most certainly the Elite Eight. I think the VCU days. Who's the other team? George Mason. Remember George Mason?
Yeah. Florida Gulf Coast.
No, they were the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
With Enfield, yep. And then Florida Atlantic with Dusty May.
Yeah.
I think those days are over. And why I think that is, let's say with our team, we'll get to that, but we have two really good freshmen who are coming back.
Yeah.
Now, will they play 4 years at NAU? I hope so, but it's highly unlikely.
Right.
But where do those upsets come from in the past are from juniors and seniors who've been at that school for 4 or 5 years and they've used a redshirt year. Those days are over because...
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I think Oj and I have talked about this.
Okay.
When you have an old team, you have an advantage. I mean, you might not be as talented on the front, but when you have guys that have been there, committed, dedicated to it, bought in, you got a good shot to upset some big blue blood, and 100% on board with you with this day and age.
And the equalizer too is if you can make threes and you got an older group, that's when those upsets would come in.
Yeah.
That was a common denominator. So, like right now we're watching Miami Purdue. It's a 1-point game. I just think you talk about the Dukes of the world, the Michigans, Arizona's like they're gonna be hard to beat. Now if they get beat by a 2 seed or a 3 seed, well, that's a top 15 team in the country anyway.
Right. Right now, we're heading into the Sweet 16. Both Michigan State are still alive. Obviously, that's going to be big for our listening area.
Oh, yeah.
One set of people that are not happy right now is the performance of our Wisconsin Badgers.
Well, they got beat by High Point.
Yeah. Who actually had a decent game last night. I don't know if you got to see.
Oh, yeah, Arkansas against Arkansas, yeah. So the head coach for High Point was an assistant coach in our league in Big Sky.
Oh, really?
At Southern Utah.
Okay.
Where Coach Rigo's, one of his former players is now with Coach Jeter.
Yes.
Who has Midwest ties
yes.
also and has connections to Bo Ryan back in the day. He worked for Bo Ryan, if I remember correctly.
At Platteville?
Maybe so. Maybe at Platteville. But he has a Bo Ryan pedigree. Maybe even at Wisconsin. I mean, Bo Ryan, when was he at Wisconsin? It's been a while now.
Probably a lot longer than we think.
Yeah, for sure. I think he took over for Dick Bennett.
Yeah.
And Dick Bennett was in a 2000 Final Four when he lost to Michigan State. But, Wisconsin, and I like Coach Gard, and those are tough to watch, though, because when you Greg, of course you're supposed to win.
Right.
Can't lose to High Point. Well, High Point they're invested, not like Wisconsin, but that's another team that's an older group, and they had a guard from Arizona, Conrad Martinez, University of Arizona. They had a good team. High Point's really good. So I know Matt Painter kind of went at the mid-major coaches as recent as yesterday, I think. To schedule those games are harder than people realize. Right. But a Matt Painter, Coach Painter, he's gonna play anybody. He's like Coach Izzo. Those guys, that's their mojo. Calvin Sampsons of the world,
right.
Tommy Lloyd, they're gonna play anybody.
The one game that was interesting, how great would it have been if Duke would have got upset by Siena?
Yeah. Well, McNamara, he was at an 03 Syracuse.
I remember him.
Shooter.
And
tough dude.
The one thing I'm taking away just listening to Shire and then a couple of Duke players is they didn't even take the game serious, and they're not even hiding it.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they
really.
We thought it was going to be a cakewalk, because I believe is exactly how one of the players said it.
Shire did too.
Shire said that McNamara outcoached them.
I heard that. Yeah.
So let me ask you. So this is one, and again, this could be a situation that you're in, right? Let's say NAU gets the tournament and you get to play a high seed. You guys are going to be jacked.
Oh.
Right. From the other side of it, is it hard for a team like Duke or Michigan or Wisconsin to get jacked for a team which, quite frankly, some of the players on Duke's roster probably didn't even know where Siena was?
Yeah, I haven't been in that situation, but in high school I most certainly was. We're the high seed and trying to get the guys motivated to play the 16 seed or 32 seed. I think that has changed too. I think someone who's making $5 million and you got to tell me, Sienna's good, and my guess is McNamara will end up at Syracuse as a head coach. Within, I guess some announcements will be made tomorrow after the games are being played. Yeah, I think it is a real deal. And then what's the other coach like? So we play Arizona's of the world. We're playing Iowa State next year. We played at UConn. We played at Michigan State. And our whole motive as a mid-major is you go play in East Lansing or Tucson. Well, then you get to the NCAA tournament. Now you're at a neutral court. And guess who everybody's rooting for in that building except a sliver of the high seed? Everybody's rooting for the underdog. So all of them, like being a 16 seed or a 14 or 15, that's easy motivation. So like the Bill Selfs of the world, the Painters, Coach Izzo's like, they're elite coaches. I mean, John Shire, we're going to be talking about John Shire in 15, 20 years at Duke. They're elite coaches. And it is a challenge to tell an 18 and 22-year-old, hey, this 15 seed or 16 seed is really good. So yeah, I think that's more of a challenge that way. I think it's harder to coach talent than it is the underdog role. You experienced that, I'm sure, with your
I was just
coaching
going to say,
experience.
and you would have dealt with this too. Like, but at the high school level, if we have a really good football team and we're playing Pelkey Tech,
yeah,
and
you're beating Pelkey Tech, but you don't know yet as a coach,
right? And you're watching film, and your kids are watching film, and they see that they're not very good. That's harder because. And again, at the game time, I think you're probably still going to win. But the way you want to teach kids to prepare. Yeah. Like if you and I are playing 1-on-1 and we got a game on Saturday and we're practicing every day, and you know you're going to kick my butt, you're probably not getting yourself better.
You're right.
And I think that was always one of the things that we struggled with, was to try to make sure we're getting our guys better in a week when you know that you should win. And I think probably some of these blue bloods they deal with that as well.
And now the roster management of these teams, they're not paying 12, 13 guys. So you're paying 8 to 9. The last thing you want to do in those games is get somebody hurt.
Right.
So it's like
100%.
So you're up 20 with 8 minutes to go. You sit them down. You're not playing them. You got to play them because you guys still got to play. It's 32 to 36 minutes. So it's a tough call. Everyone says like that should never happen. And there's the human behavior of it. There's a lot more to it.
For sure. So who we picking?
Well, who do I want?
Well, I know you're rooting for Arizona.
Yeah,
right? You obviously have a close relationship with Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah, and I got Coach Murphy who hired me as a coach. He gave me my chance. I love Coach Murphy. A cool story. I went to the Big 12 tournament, and Coach Murphy, Jack Murphy, who's the associate coach at Arizona, was the head coach at Northern Arizona and gave me my opportunity. Went and worked for Sean Miller, and Sean went to Xavier to Texas, who Texas now in the Sweet 16. But my little guy, Bennett, gave him the hat, and Benny was just ecstatic. Coach Murphy, I mean, that's big time.
That's right there is what it's all about.
And like Tommy Lloyd, coach, like Arizona, I know some other stuff, but Arizona, they get who they are. Jaden Bradley's an All-American. He's so good to everybody. He's a stud, like a legit good person. And that's how Arizona is. And so, yeah, I'm rooting for Arizona. If I had to pick a team, I root for St. Mary's of the world, Randy Bennett, and Coach Izzo I root for. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to stick with Arizona and Michigan State. That's what I'm rooting for.
How awesome would that be?
Oh, that'd be
You couldn't lose.
No,
right?
I couldn't lose. And then Liam Lloyd, who's one of our former players who got married. I mean, I could tell a million stories. But the Lloyd family, with wife Chanel, they're just amazing. They're an amazing basketball family. And more importantly, they're a family who has success.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like this, we grew up in a copper country. We grew up here. It's like, to be where we are and hanging out, our kids have those experiences, it's really cool.
It is.
Yeah, you don't lose sight of that stuff.
No, and I've been doing a lot of reflecting recently about that, and I think one of the things that I'm happiest about is when I grew up and where I grew up and how I grew up, right? I mean, playing in the neighborhood, streetlights come on, go home, screw up, get a boot in the rear. I mean...
Yeah, and go back to Bob Backon. Like, he brought me down, Mr. Vara would bring me down to the state championship games with their kids, and, Bob would bring me to the Packer games, and, those are unbelievable experiences.
Yeah.
And it kind of motivates you to want to get to that level.
100%.
You know?
Unfortunately, it takes it to when you get older to realize how much you actually appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, Coach, that's when you're in it, you don't know it, because you're just in it.
Yeah.
And as you get a little bit older, you reflect on it, like you said. I like that word.
Yeah. Let's talk a little baseball, right? Oj and I are both big baseball fans. You might even surpass that with your level of, I was going to call you kind of nuts, but I'm going to say savant information, Tiger fan, big baseball guy. Let's talk a little bit. We're heading into opening day, right?
Which is Thursday in March, right?
Have you ever? Do you go to opening day? Have you been to opening day?
Yeah, I've been to opening day. The Tigers and Royals several years ago. Nice cold day. It's like a holiday down in Detroit.
Yeah.
That was a year. I think it was 07, and they were supposed to automatically win the Central, and they were one of the worst teams. Because in 06 they went to the World Series. I went with Steve Backon and his wife and one of their friends, and so that was. I had been to. I'm going to actually go to the Tiger D-back game when the Tigers are in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's the only opening day I'd been to. My first day with my wife was Game 7 of the World Series in 2001. Clemens against Schilling.
Really.
Yankees and D-backs, and Julie had never been to a game in her life, and. If
she watched you in this environment and said, "Man, I love him."
Hey, Julie's had 100 red flags. Okay, and I actually you can look this up now. I picked her up late for the date, and the Packers beat Tampa Bay that day. You can look this up. Game 7, Packers beat Tampa. I think it was 23-20 in overtime. It was November 2nd, I think, because that was 9/11 year. So the World Series was in November.
Okay.
On that, so yeah, I love baseball. Tigers. I got some opinions about starting pitching, and
well,
we had good debates last night.
We did. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
And again, I know you listen sometimes, and I know you probably.
I'm gonna catch up this. Season's over.
The whole thing, and we got into this last time. It just drives me nuts that our ace pitcher is getting pulled at 99 pitches, 6 innings, and.
It's Game 5 to get to the next step.
You're paying him $15 million to pitch 2/3 of a game.
Yeah.
And so I want to get your opinion on that one because we had a good debate last night.
We had a debate.
And then I want to touch on a little bit on how we should use Verlander this year. But
okay, so let's go to Verlander. So I was hoping I'd pick up Verlander from the Giants last year. But the Giants made a late run, and in my understanding, we went to sign Verlander. Someone got hurt, didn't they, for the Tigers this year?
Yeah.
A pitcher did.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name, but they were hoping he'd be back, but apparently
was it Wilcox?
It might be Wilcox. I should know this, and I'm kind of embarrassed.
It's not Wilcox.
It's some, I don't know.
Yeah, but Milt Wilcox is the '84 pitcher.
I'm gonna get to them in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So. I would do it differently. If I'm going to pay those guys, I like your point. If we're going to pay those guys that kind of money, your last pitch against Seattle is 101 miles an hour. But you got to get back out there.
Yeah.
But you can't have that conversation in October. That's a conversation you have in June on Tuesday at Fenway Park. That's your expectation of you. And I'm from the school of Nolan Ryan. Keep pitching, throw the ball, keep pitching. But you have a great idea with how you spend the money. And then they get in. Who's the guy from the Nationals who walked the guy? Finnegan? He walked the guy in the 7th last year, and everybody was ripping him off. He shouldn't have the ball in the 7th. Then all of a sudden, Scooble goes back out there. Maybe we get 3 or 4 runs, and he pitches the 7th, and now Finnegan can come in the 8th, and our closer can come in the 9th, and let's win the game. So the greatest game in my lifetime ever pitched was '91. Twins against the Braves. Jack Morris goes
15 innings?
Yeah, he goes 10 innings, and Tom Kelly comes out, the manager for the Twins, and the story goes is that Jack Morris is F-bombing. Get out of here, TK. Get back to the effing dugout. And TK went and he shook his head a couple times, and he went back to the dugout because Jack Morris was not coming off the mound. And it wasn't for the '92 season. It was like Jack Morris is going to win the World Series, and they end up winning 1-0. So that's my train of thought, the Tom Seaver days and the Nolan Ryan days.
I remember that game as well, but not quite as fondly as I was a
Braves
fan at the time. But
So I would use my horses as much as I could.
Okay, and we can talk about Nolan Ryan and his arm and ability to do that, right? And now we are so scientifically, medically advanced, and this is how we got to treat these arms. How did Nolan Ryan treat that arm after the game?
Yeah, put some ice on it.
Put a bag of ice on it and hold his cold beer can on his elbow, right?
He's good to go.
I mean, the whole science and analytics crap is way more advanced now than it was, which to me is a fault because, like I said, you got to win the game. But so is treatment and how to maintain your body.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the stories of baseball guys in the day, there was no taking care of your bodies, and now it's way better, and we pitch less.
Less and there's more injuries. And I don't know that. I'm talking as a fan, but like, who's a pitcher at the Nationals? Should be a Hall of Fame pitcher. Strasburg?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, they babied him, and, you know, I mean, he is a talent out of San Diego State, and he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He won't go in the Hall of Fame, but his numbers for 4 or 5 years was amazing, but they babied him. And baby's not the right word, the pitch count deal. So no, I would use the pitch count. Like I really do. Like Verlander coming back, how should I use Verlander? Pitch him. I know you got a different take, but I like your take. Last time when you were talking about it, it's a very interesting take.
Well, I remember like
go ahead, tell them.
When Smoltz was, they used Smoltz in the bullpen with the Braves with that pitching staff. So you got Maddox and Glavine going, and they're dealing, but we got to pull them in the sixth. And again, who are the worst players on your roster? Nobody ever grew up. There's no chance that Shane Burcar was throwing a ball off a wall, catching it, working on this pitch, saying, man, someday I want to be a middle relief pitcher.
No chance.
No.
We didn't know what it was.
No, because nobody wants to be it. It's a role you accept.
Yeah.
But
well, the role you accept to maybe be a starter in a year or two.
Right.
Or you're at the end of your career and you just want to be in a big.
Yeah. So Smoltz, why can't we let? I always say this. Let's have 6 starters. Instead of paying 5 schlep rock middle relievers, let's get 6 starters. You're the starting pitcher. I'm scheduled to go the next day. You're getting shelled in the 3rd. I come in and do it. And I finish the game and we win that game. And you get your rest and then we just change our rotation.
Yeah.
Or let Verlander pitch 3 innings instead of just 1 inning as a reliever like they did with Smoltz. But I guess a bad taste in my mouth after watching the Tigers' demise last year.
Well, then you have the Dodger pitcher against the Blue Jay warming up, and he pitched the night before, 48 hours before that. It's like, I don't know, and you know, obviously we're Tiger fans. It's just like, you're not pulling me, and I didn't pitch in a big league, so easy for me to say, but like, you're not pulling me. Like Jack Morrow, you're not pulling me. Like, we're gonna beat the Mariners. And my arm will be okay in 5 days when we're playing the Dodgers in the World Series. No, they had one more series though. They had to beat the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
They had played the Mariners to play the Blue Jays.
Yes.
But let's win this game. Let me be the stud. I pitched game 5 against Cleveland. I gave up a grand slam. Like, I'm not coming out of this game. Now, if I had 120 pitches, I still not coming out of the game, but I can understand that. But when my 99th pitch is at 101 miles an hour and I strike the guy out, I got a couple more batters left.
And then the same thing, you know, let's go back to circa 1990s. You know, Pastory tournament was a big deal, right?
Is it still going?
I don't know. It's a little bit different.
That's a big deal.
I was helping with the Twilight League a few years ago. It's a little bit different from when we played.
Okay.
Trust me on that.
Okay.
But let's say you pitch on that Friday night game, and your team gets to the championship game Saturday, and they need one more guy. You're flipping the ball to you and you're throwing. And you're going to suck it up and put your beer can on it afterwards and deal with the pain and move on.
And you're pitching Tuesday in regular season game.
Exactly.
And T. Morrison, he's throwing strikes now.
Yeah.
Hey, we didn't have $1 million arms or anything, but it wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
Like, pitch Friday, let's try to win Saturday, and then if we got to win our game Tuesday, you might pitch it in Tuesday. And then Thursday, like, it's your turn to pitch.
Yeah.
So we got that solved, I think, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Let's I think everybody in the world knows that one of my biggest grievances with the MLB is the fact that my favorite player is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oj is kind of a wishy-washy on it. He always tries to crank me up on that, but Dale Murphy a Hall of Famer or not?
Yes. Dale Murphy, I'm looking at our lesson plan here. Dale Murphy, 2-time MVP. His numbers I don't know his numbers. How many home runs is he?
He was like around, I think 399 or something.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer. Some of these guys I was recruiting in St. Michael's, Maryland, this winter, for $100. Can you tell me the recent Hall of Famer from St. Michael's, Maryland? No chance. I had recent, and he would be. Now he has 3,000 hits, but he's like a Dale Murphy. Like you would say, Dale Murphy's better than this guy. Harold Baines. Harold.
I would take Dale Murphy over Harold Baines any day of the week.
And I loved Harold Baines. He's a
nice
professional.
swing.
Yeah,
Good
professional
swing.
hitter, but like Dale Murphy back-to-back MVPs in the 80s. Everybody wanted his rookie card as a catcher.
Yep.
For the Braves.
Yep.
Coming up through the system. To me, he's a no-brainer, especially with some of the guys getting into the Hall of Fame. You know, I got to text Mad Dog. I'm going to text him right now and see if he responds.
Okay.
Here. But I'm going to say I'm on your podcast is Dale Murphy Hall of Famer because he argues with Kelly. What's Kelly's name on the MLB Network?
This would be a question for Oj.
Okay.
He listens to Mad Dog every day.
Yeah. But I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Well, what's your? You know who else is a Hall of Famer? Lou Whitaker.
Yeah, that's disgusting that he's not.
How is a Lou Whitaker in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at his numbers. His numbers are close to Joe Morgan, Sandberg. Like, I don't know how he's not a Hall of Famer. Who just got in as a second baseman?
I should be looking this up because, like I said, the last 2 years that people have gone in the Hall of Fame, it did not help me calm down.
No, it should make you more intense about
it.
Like Scott Rowland's a good ball player. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Not a chance.
Over Dale Murphy?
Not a chance. I don't think Scott Rowland could make the lineup of the '97 Quincy's team.
He'd come off the bench.
He'd come off the
when
bench.
you're up 10.
Yeah. After we get up by 10, we'll take Peaver out of the game and let Scott Rowland come in. Yeah, Carlos Beltran, and I got to be honest, there's another Brave going in, Andrew Jones, and I think he's talented.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
He should, but not before Dale Murphy.
Okay, now here's why Jones should be in the Hall of Fame. If Ozzie Smith is in the Hall of Fame, so should Jones be.
Okay.
Best center fielder for I think he won like 10
Yeah.
plus consecutive. Like Ozzie Smith is not in the Hall of Fame for his bat, and Jones has some numbers. I know he went to Dodge, but like Jones was. He was incredible as a center fielder. And Greg Maddux and those pitchers were better because of
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they would admit it.
Yes. You know, some of those little bloopers that he chases down or cuts off in the gap. But the only thing, again, with that is I think when you look, if you're going to want me to pick one, Murphy or Andrew Jones, and they're dead even, I'm looking at character. Nobody on the planet with more character than Dale Murphy.
No, strong, not that religion means anything, but strong LDS faith, Mormon, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
But everybody says great guy. Who did he have his career with? The Phillies?
I think it was the Phillies or the Rockies.
No, Rockies. I think you're right.
I think it was the
With the
Rockies.
Phillies, but like Hall of Famer for sure.
Okay.
Especially with the recent stuff.
Well, then it's settled. MLB, get on that. So let's. What else you want to talk about, Coach Burcar? We're kind of touching on a bunch of stuff, but I'm just kind of leaving the lesson plan open here. Any burning topics that you think we need to address before we move on to our next phase?
No, you didn't mention who you have in the Final Four.
I'd like to see Michigan. I'm not right now. I don't think they're defending and guarding as well as they have earlier in the year, so that makes me nervous. I do like Arizona, and as much as I want to hate the guy, I really would like to see Kelvin Sampson get a championship because I love watching how gritty his teams are.
So you don't like Kelvin Sampson?
I do like him.
Okay, Kelvin Sampson is one of my favorite coaches.
I think there's some shady things to him from earlier.
Oh, those are over though.
Okay.
Crouchy guy, come on, my old Uper. Like those days are over. He paid his dues.
I don't know if you know this, but I've been known to hold a grudge for years. But
I do know that. we talked about one off the air that we won't mention, but I think Kelvin Sampson is one of the best coaches in the country.
I think he gets more out of less talent than other coaches that are basically fighting for that same ring, right?
You know, I listened to one of his podcasts. I follow him. I followed him when he was at Oklahoma. But his first head coaching job was at Montana Tech.
Okay.
Montana Tech.
where did he go from there then?
Montana Tech to Washington State, I believe.
Okay.
Washington State, and then I remember him talking about trying to beat Lute Olson when they were in the Pac-10, and said they're better than us. Then I think he went Washington State to Oklahoma, then Oklahoma to Indiana, and that's when he got in a little bit of trouble. And then he paid his dues in the NBA. And then, I like how he has built Houston. You and I are not old enough to remember Houston being good.
No, 5 slam a jam a day.
We're too young for that. People older, like the Christian Wilsons of the world, would remember that. Because it was about 5-6 years different. But I think Kelvin Sampson might get, as you said, more out of less than anybody.
And their resources are not the same as like even what we're watching on TV right now.
No, and you know what Painter, and the other thing about Coach Izzo, I remember growing up, Michigan, you'd always root for Michigan because they'd be in the NCAA tournament more than Michigan State. But what Coach Izzo has done at Michigan State 28, 29 years in a row, like our generation realized it, but someone who's 40 years old, they just automatically think.
Yeah.
But what Coach Izzo's done at Michigan State and turned into a national brand, that's amazing. And Kelvin Sampson, he's older, so like his son is the coach in Wayton, Kellen. Kellen's a coach.
I think I did hear this.
And I'll tell you what, I've been to a lot of coaching clinics, and his son Kellen is one of the best speakers I've ever listened to.
Okay.
To talking about their defense. So I think they're going to be in good hands for a lot of years at Houston. So if one of those guys don't win it, Michigan State, Arizona, or St. Mary's is out of it.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida won it. Florida coached by Todd Golden, Sunny Slope kid. Oakland Ford, our teammate, went to the same high school as him.
Okay.
But I would love to root like Kelvin Sampson. I was rooting for him last year to win it.
I like how, like you're in for a fist fight when you play them, right?
And he's telling you.
And if that I guess that's one thing I always respected. I love about the way they play is you get the teams that try to be physical. They do they're kind of chippy with it. He just tells you we're gonna beat on you. You either fight back or you might as well just get out of our way.
So I was at the championship game last week in Kansas City, and Coach Lloyd and Coach Sampson are facing off 1 and 2 in the Big 12, and Kelvin Sampson, he's not cool, and he don't want to be cool.
Yeah.
He comes walking out. Him and Tommy say some pleasantries, but it's all business. And Tommy's the same way, but that's the way it should be. We're not man hugging and all that stuff. It's on that. So I love Kelvin Sampson.
All right. Let's move on. Let's get we got to give the Mark Leaf tip of the cap, and we got some big happenings going on in our local area here. I'm sure you're still following it as well, but Coach Josh Bittner and the MTU Huskies won their region down in Walsh. That was awesome. I'm guessing you didn't spend a lot of time watching that, but
well, I follow Bitt. I follow him. I head over to his practice today, so no, I follow him. Hey, I'm from up here. I root for Tech and everything. So I follow it for sure. And Coach Mike Williams is heading to Pittsburgh also with Grand Valley State. So, but this is about Coach Bittner here.
So we were watching it because you can watch it on NCAA, and it was at Wall. We were really hoping that regional would have been up at Tech because it would have been a great environment. But they were watching like the first couple games at Tech's playing. There's nobody in the gym, right? Because it's at a university. You got schools that are,
Where's I don't know. Walsh?
It's in Ohio.
Okay.
So, but it gets to the championship game, and Tech is playing Walsh. And I'm like, this is going to be awesome, because like their student section is going to come out, and their student section printed up shirts ripping on Tech, and it was a packed house, and I even told my wife this. I said, this is going to be good for us, because like I think Coach Bittner's team, like those environments, they thrive on. Mm-hmm. And sure as heck, first 3 possessions down, Tomaszek drills 3 threes at 9 rip right off the bat. The crowd's trying to get after those guys, and they just it lifted them up, and they put the boots to them and are moving on to the Elite 8 in Pittsburgh.
First time ever for Tech, right?
I believe so, yes.
Maybe, like, think about, you talk about, like, a Kelvin Sampson. How about Kevin Luke?
Yeah.
What he did. I remember Bill Gappy as a coach at Michigan Tech as a kid. Then Coach Cotilla, who rest in peace. Great, those guys were great guys to us. Coach Luke was great to us in high school and young college days. But what they've done to build Tech, and, obviously Bitt played here. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of pride. It's almost like the Indiana football team. The Georgia Dome is packed with crimson for Indiana. Like, there's a lot of proud people from this area and alumni who are rooting for the Huskies to go down there and win a national championship. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be awesome. So, and I don't know if you saw this. I think I retweeted it, but when the team arrived back at the airport, fans were there. They had the Tech band.
Oh, that's the best band in the country.
Yeah. So as they're coming off the plane, you guys just swarm with fans. The Tech band playing the fight song. What an awesome thing.
No, were they charter or?
I think so. I believe so, and I think they're heading out today actually after practice. So
Okay, good.
So that'll be awesome for you to get down there and see them, and
Yeah.
obviously.
And I hung out a bit when the Final Four. We usually get together and have a Pepsi or Coke, whatever is there, when at the Final Four.
You're allowed to say beer on this pod.
Okay.
It's actually usually we actually drink on this pod.
I know it's Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
But so like in Indianapolis, hopefully he's playing. You know, the Final Four this year.
He's in Indianapolis. Yeah.
They're having a D2 or D1, D2, D3 all at the Final Four. So hopefully I'm there. I might have to buy something from Tech today.
I got some shirts.
I'll go get a Tech basketball shirt today, so it'll be planned in Indianapolis.
That would be awesome.
No, that would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, you can win. You can win every sport everywhere if you get the backing. It's proved.
100%. So Mark Leaf, tip of the cap goes to Coach Bittner. Now it's time to pay the bills, Coach, and you get to pinch it for Owen right
cow.
there. This podcast doesn't, pay for itself.
I'm like in a reading class right now. I got the 8th paragraph. I'm an A student. One of the tough words.
But notice the font size is 20.
Yeah, I don't need. Yeah. And Oj is still looking for his glasses.
Yeah.
Design to Construct. Design to Construct is a full-service commercial design and construction company located in Jackson, Wisconsin, dedicated to creating personalized building solutions to meet our clients' goals. Our lasting relationships with past customers truly help set us apart from any other design build company. Design to Construct.
Good work.
Am I on the next one?
No. That one.
I gotta put my own one into that one with the dip top.
No, that's Dreamland. You're thinking Dairyland. Dreamland's in Boojak.
Oh, they had good dip top too, didn't they?
They have good food.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Every podcast, Oj and I do a little update, keep our tens of fans updated on how the NAU Lumberjacks are doing in their season, and we might, since we got you in the house, we might as well just talk a little bit about your season, whatever. But big news, and I think a lot of people have heard about that. I've talked with a lot of people. They get texts about kind of a cool thing with a former player of yours.
Yeah, so let's go. Let's own it. Let's go with the season recap. I'm sure you guys spun it as best as you could. We had a really good non-conference start, and then we lost our leading scorer, our second game of our conference, Zach Davidson, and Zach's going to go into Porto, and he's going to make a lot of money. He had a good year, and great kid, but our injuries, and we lost Isaiah Shaw, who was top 30 in the country shooting three-pointers. We lost him for a couple games, and Ryan Abelman. So I'm not making excuses. I'm talking as a coach. We couldn't overcome those injuries. We were really excited for our season. Even when we went to Boise, we thought we could make a run at it like we did in 2023. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, but I'll tell you what, our guys still carry themselves with a high character, class. They do great in the classroom, and we were good enough with our full roster to make a run at an 18-game season. We most certainly were good enough to get hot in Boise, and we're going to lose a couple of guys. We're losing three seniors. Travar Jackson, who came from us from Alaska, came from Pima Community College in Tucson, Tarleton State, Grand Canyon, to us. We'll miss him. And two guys, now if Ryan Abelman, he doesn't know if he's going to come back or not as of right now. Hopefully he comes back, but two guys that the tens of fans most certainly know about are Diego Camposano and Oakland Fort. Now here's a little history in the making. If Ryan Abelman does not come back and we keep projecting to where we think we're going to project, my prediction is Oakland Fort and Diego Camposano are the last two guys who played their whole career at NAU.
Wow.
That's where we are. If Ryan Abelman comes back, he'll be a fifth-year senior next year, and he'll be the last guy in my opinion, to play all 4 or 5 years at our school.
Wow.
Now, and we got 2 freshmen who started this year. They both are coming back. Brandon Peterson and Chris Coleman, who Chris was in the running for freshman of the year. Big time player at a Bosco High School at Wallflower, California. He's coming back. Chris is really good. I hope Chris is with us for 4 years, as I do with Brandon. Highly unlikely they both are there for 4 years because they're really good players. Mm-hmm. So our starting backcourt for those 2 guys could be back, and they're number 2 and number 7. So we're going to promote those. That's coming back for 27. And if Ryan Abelman comes back, we'll have 3 starters coming back. We'll be the only team in the league with 3 starters coming back. And we have to upgrade. As you know, I'm heading on the road to recruit after this, heading to Kansas, and we need some big guys because everybody else is essentially going to go in a portal, and that's just life. That's okay. Right. We knew that. So that's our recap. Didn't finish how we wanted to, but we're very optimistic for next year.
And that's awesome. We all understand that level you're at, and if you do your job really, really well, you're going to be doing it every single year because you're doing a good job. You're helping those kids advance, and that's one of the things. And I think you get it. I know you get it. That if those guys come to you and you develop them and they have opportunities to move on, you're telling them to come to college because good chance they're not going to the NBA, right? You're going to get your degree. You're going to be a man. You're going to be a good father, husband. Life is going to be good, and they have opportunities to move on and make money, which is life-changing money.
Oh.
It's a no-brainer, and we got a great story about how that happened. Now, I think everyone on our pod is familiar with Carson Tout.
Yeah.
What a great player he was for you, and moved on to Notre Dame, and well, there's a lot of good stuff going on for Carson.
So see Tout, he'll be a NAU Hall of Famer. Okay, I'm gonna throw some names at you. I don't know if you saw this tweet or Instagram deal. Is he passed this season in college basketball David Robinson and Patrick Ewing for career rebounds. And I think he had over 1,000 of those were at NAU. And our, Stacy Isobe, who's our sports information director, does a great job on that. We had Jaden Jackson, who was in a tournament for Cal Baptist. They went and got paid. And Carson Tout, the amazing story with Carson is he has signed a free agent contract with the Indianapolis Colts.
The NFL.
The NFL. And I'll give you a little tip. I don't think Carson would mind me sharing this at all. But he's got some guaranteed money, and he fully expects to make the roster this year, if not within a year or 2. And knowing Carson, he will. He will. He's physical. He's got great hands. He's not a powder puff basketball player. He's a physical basketball player. Had a great year at Notre Dame, and you got to go to Notre Dame. Yeah. You go into the ACC, started every game for him, and he was prepared for it. And so I talked to Carson a couple of times in the last month or so, and I was in the airport and we were talking. And long story short, how in the heck does a guy he's never played a down in football in his life?
So he doesn't even have a high school background?
Didn't play high school football at Gilbert High. He's from Gilbert High.
Oh, that's right. I hear people talk about that Gilbert High. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, they didn't play football. He, great basketball school, but did not play. But so in Carson, please forgive me if I don't say it exactly right. But
good chance Carson's not listening.
Yeah. Oh, Carson knows. But so I think his agent got in touch with a tight end. There's like a tight end agent in the NFL. And a tight end agent is representing Carson. And I think Kittle is one of the guys he represents. Now, I don't mean to misspeak, but we're telling the story right now.
Yeah.
So, long story short, he went to the Combine in Indianapolis, but he couldn't participate in it because he didn't play. So he went and he met with several teams. And one of the his favorite team growing up was the Patriots. And he said he sat in there and he's getting questions by the Patriots and all the Patriot gear, and so it was just a surreal moment. Can you imagine that?
That's awesome.
He's playing college basketball now. He played Saturday or Sunday, and he drove across Monday from South Bend to Indianapolis, and he met with these teams, and he called me on his way back that night and said, "Hey, I think it's going to go down. I think someone's going to sign me." Wow. And you fast forward a week or 2, and the Colts signed him. And he's going there like with all. He's not. Carson is very motivated. He's not into cute stories. Like he's going to make the team. And I'll tell you what, Carson. He has a serious girlfriend now. So and he is a professional athlete. Even when he's at NAU, he's not worried about chasing. He's not worried about going out and partying. He's focused on being as good as he can and maxing his full potential. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to get my Indianapolis Colt jacket, hat, something, because he's going to be playing for the Colts.
That is such an awesome story. And again, how can you not want to see this kid succeed, right?
No, for sure. Like that's a kid who, I mean, if he was sitting here right now with us and he'd go to lunch with us after, and he's great with the community. Just an all-time guy. Like he's got a lot of youth in him, in my opinion.
Does he wear flannel?
Oh, yeah, he's a lumberjack. Yeah, that's part of the style, you know. He gets away. He can wear whatever he wants. His coach at Notre Dame said that when they were zooming, Coach Shrewsbury said like the dude got a flannel on, his hat on backwards, and he got off the Zoom. It's like, is that kid for real? Like in a good way. Like Carson is who he is. He's not tricky.
That is a phenomenal story, and obviously we all want to see him succeed. We got to hit the mailbag, and we have, even though we weren't scheduled to have a pod this week, we got a couple of questions here.
Now you're asking these because I'm not pronouncing some of these names in here.
Well, you met one of them last night. You should have met one of them last week.
Yeah, come on, Paul. Come by and say hello.
Yeah, Paul from
Right.
Boise. We were calling you out last night. The fact that he went to the Big Sky tournament and said, you got to go down and just at least say hello to Coach Burcar, but apparently he was too scared. All right, let's start with the mailbag. Okay? Hey, Crouch and Oj. Chechny's pitcher, Satoria, who was a full-time electrician, threw 4.2 innings of shutout ball against Japan in the World Baseball Classic and became a baseball hero for a couple days. What is your favorite sports example of a one-hit wonder? That's Lewis from Chandler, who may or may not have had a couple of Pepsis with us last night. One-hit wonders.
You go first. Where are we going with this one?
Okay.
One-hit wonder, like...
The way I'm interpreting this is they had like a good year. And
good year. Okay.
So
mine's easy.
Mine is too, and they very well could be the same.
It's gonna be the same.
Is it the Bird?
No.
I'm going with Mark Fidrich.
Okay, good one. No, mine would not be the same.
He's one that, again, I was young.
I know. I remember I got his card. I was so fired up when I got the Bird's card. You ever see the special on him?
I did.
Good one.
I also...
he's passed.
Yes.
He got his flannel stuck in a... You know how he died?
I don't.
He was working on a truck he in Massachusetts, and it got stuck, and he ended up getting hung. Yeah.
Oh,
Joe.
really? I did not know that.
Yeah, tragic. Like, good guy, good family guy with his daughter. Like, good story. The Bird.
So that's the one that came to mind first. And again, I'm a little bit young when he was coming through. But then I'm sticking along the baseball lines and the pitchers. And how about Zamaya?
Joe Zamaya. Wow.
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He could throw 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, he got hurt doing something.
Yeah, so he had like one good year where he was just the man, and then
then it fizzled out.
So I don't know if that's what we're looking for, Lewis, but those are the ones that I came up with.
Okay, so one-time deal. You know who I would say that people our generation most of? I'd say Don Mikowski.
Oh, that's actually you know what?
That's where I thought you were going.
I should have went with that, but I was thinking baseball. Yeah, Don Mikowski.
Yeah, Magic Man, like he was going to turn the whole Packer organization around.
Did you have this jersey?
Oh, I still do. Corey Markham still wears his jersey. Like the Favre jersey's tough to wear right now.
It is.
So like Magic Man, I used to have that shirt when he had that little rabbit coming out of his hat, and I had his poster in my room. But Don Mikowski, I would say, then he got hurt. Freddie Joe Nunn sacked him in Phoenix, Arizona, in Tempe, but within the Phoenix Cardinals. And then he held out, and then Ron Wolf came to the Packers and traded for this guy named Brett Favre, and the Magic Man was in trouble from that day on to trade a first-round pick. And so I would say Mikowski threw for over 4,000 yards, and 1989. Remember 10-16 with Jeff Query?
Jeff Query.
You know, and they had Keith Woodside in the backfield. Do you remember Keith Woodside from Texas A&M? Perry Kemp. Remember Perry Kemp? And then who else? Who was the tight end then?
Was
Eddie West.
Ed West.
Yeah.
Couldn't catch a pass if it hit him in the chest.
Here's our blocking tight end.
That's actually a great answer. I'm kind of
Vince Workman was on that team.
Working my way back to you, man.
Yeah. Ohio State. So is Magic Man? That's a fair one, isn't it?
That's a great one. Your answer is way the heck better than mine.
Okay. No, the Bird's good. The Bird. So my daughter, our oldest daughter.
Yeah, but we were. Makowski's more our era.
Yeah,
like
the Bird. I remember his cards. I don't remember him pitching like against the Yankees and talking to the ball on Monday night. So we had a Bird. My oldest daughter had a Bird, and we named him Fidrich.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Her choice or yours?
Oh, she didn't know what Fidrich was. I guess it's my choice.
Did you tell her that was the brand of the bird or the type of bird it was?
Yeah, exactly.
Dad, I think it's a finch.
Unfortunately, Fidrich was a one-hit wonder too. He passed on that too, unfortunately.
Oh, R.I.P.
That's a good question.
It is, and I kind of wish I would have went your way.
I'd be interested in people emailing you guys and who else there would be.
Yeah, it is a good one. I think that's one we could spend an hour.
Walcott pitched for the Mariners, I think Game 7 against the Indians. The Indians, I'm not saying it wrong, they were the Indians back then. I think in 97 when the Marlins beat the Indians, but Walcott pitched, I think, in that playoffs for the Mariners, and he won a game. But
okay.
I think he started a game against the Yankees in Game 5, Don Mattingly's last game.
Don Mattingly, Hall of Famer?
I would see. So here, Mad Dog got back to me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay. No, he's dead to me too. Mad Dog, I would say no. Close. 2 MVPs, great outfield, about 7 Hall of Fame years. Probably need 10. All right, but I guess Mad Dog ain't coming on the show.
And Mad Dog is elite baseball.
I get it. Like
he's elite.
That argument, I respect the argument, but when you're if we're picking teams in their heyday, are you picking Scott Rowland or Dale Murphy?
Oh, not even close.
That's so.
Yeah.
All right, Mad Dog, strike 2. All right, here's our next one. Howdy, boys. Howdy, Paul. Bugs Bunny or The Simpsons? Who's your favorite character from each? Paul from Boise, who did not stop in to see Coach Burcar after the Big Sky tournament. Bugs Bunny or The Simpsons?
Whew. I'll go Bugs Bunny because he's more of a legend in my time.
Okay.
I'll go Bugs Bunny. I mean, actually, I talk about Bugs Bunny in practice once in a while. It's like, you can't be Bugs Bunny and shoot the ball and pass the ball. You got to share the ball with your teammates. So Bugs Bunny was talented. I remember him pitching and being a catcher. Don't you? Bugs more of a smart ass, which I appreciate him. But Bugs Bunny, man, when he could catch the ball and strike someone out and beat a catcher or pitch and catch, and he was pretty talented.
He was. Yeah, that is a good point. It's hard to argue. I'm on board with that. I could go with The Simpsons. I remember when The Simpsons came out when we were like in high school and college, and you could go to Music Land and buy T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
I had the one that says, "I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?" My mom was not impressed that I brought that home, but anyway, I'd like to say
I had some bad shirts too, which are not appropriate now.
All right, let's get into this one. This is actually, I think this is a good question for you too. And
okay.
If you're going to look on the back, there's some info for that. But
okay.
The question comes from Jesse from Appleton. Do you know Jesse from Appleton?
I do. I saw him on a podcast.
He's a huge Shane Burcar fan.
I like him. He's very intelligent.
Wow. He also sent me a video that he got a new little thing, like a leaf blower, because he's big with blowing out his garage.
Okay.
He got a new one and sent a video yesterday to me and Oj and a couple other people just to annoy it. So he's got some issues that we're working through.
Okay.
Jesse says, I do not like golf, but the idea of a past champion getting to pick the meal for the next year at Augusta for winning the Masters the previous year is a cool idea. My question is, if you would win the Masters, what would your meal be? Please follow the exact format as below. Please notice how I sent the question in early so you can give it some real thought, unlike the idiot that asks him during the recording of the pod. little rivalry between the two.
Yes.
So, first of all, Have you ever been to Augusta?
I have not. I not the golf course. I've been there to recruit, but not the golf
It's
course.
like it's kind of one of those bucket list things to get to. Again, I'm not huge. I suck at golf. I like playing it, but like Augusta's kind of like the Holy Land, right? I mean,
No, golf tournaments are cool to go to. They are. Have you been to a golf tournament?
I have not. I think before I
You
go to
would love
the,
it.
I think before the Masters, I'd be more of a waste management type of guy.
Oh, you'd love it. They're fun. They're fun for sure.
So if you win the Masters, you get to pick the meal.
Okay.
What are you going with?
We got to pick out of here.
I think so. So we sent the one. This is what Rory went with.
Okay.
So appetizers, first course, main course, dessert.
Oh, I'm so bad at this stuff, Crouch.
I am too.
So an appetizer. I mean, we got to go with the sliders, don't we?
Well, I think you can pick anything. I don't know if you have to pick from this.
Okay.
Like appetizers.
Well, appetizers. I mean, I'm going nachos.
I was gonna say the same thing. Chips and salsa
Let's
and nacho.
go. Get some nachos.
From the ambassador.
I'm going to the ambassador this afternoon.
All
And
right.
I get nachos for an appetizer.
I think the fact that why I like the ambassador ones because they heat the chips.
Yeah, they eat the chips
100%.
and the cheese does it. I remember going to Tech hockey games and basketball games. You could get nachos for $3. How much are they now? I wonder.
Probably more, and you get in there
Not
as
as
good.
many. Yeah, for sure.
You try to at the end you get the chips. So you're trying to make sure you use all the cheese.
Yeah, that's not a good comment. It should be the other way around.
Yeah, that's not the way it is. So
No.
let's just skip through this. I don't
The
even know.
first course, I'm not that fancy.
I don't even know what that is. So what?
Yellowfin tuna. What? I'm not having that.
Okay.
I'm not having that. I know we can pick whatever.
And I don't even know what those words are underneath there.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pronounce
Okay,
it.
so we'll skip the main course. We're
The main course, I would go filet mignon with a great baked potato.
Okay.
Great baked potato with some bacon and some melted cheese on there with some salt and pepper. A good one. The best potato I ever had was at Ditka's in Chicago.
What is that?
$35 potato. It was worth it.
Okay.
Pudding, we're not pudding for dessert, pumpkin pie. Cold pumpkin pie.
Really?
Yes, with whipped cream.
Boy, that's kind of a diabolical plot twist.
Yeah,
Big pumpkin pie fan?
I am.
I like pumpkin pie, but I only eat it once a year.
So do I.
A lot of Cool Whip or whipped cream on it.
Yep, and it gotta be cold.
You're not a pumpkin spice kind of guy. You don't
No.
Okay, good.
No, I'm not. I'm not that. This pumpkin pie, that'd be mine. How about you?
I think I'm going something similar with the appetizer. It's going to be something, maybe make a cool dip, like a cheese dip with some burger in it or something.
Oh, yeah,
Something
good
simple, right?
Yeah.
Something simple. First course, maybe a salad, soup. Big soup guy. If they
I
got
like soup too.
if we had some type of that, we could put in there. But I'm going with a steak. You know, I like seafood, but I think at this type of thing, we got to go with a fillet.
Yeah,
Cooked however you want. I don't really know what Wagyu is because that's out of my price range, but
for sure.
I would go with that. Desserts, not a big dessert guy. I'd probably go with some type of simple cheesecake.
Okay.
We're not going to get too elaborate and fancy.
If you're having dessert at meals, you're living good,
Yeah.
right? Like, how many times have you been somewhere and said, "Anyone for dessert?" Not very many.
Not many times.
Not many times.
So yeah, that's actually a good question. Good question
Yeah, it
from
is.
our man Jesse, which is ironic because I think he was trying to impress you, even though he sent the question.
Well, the prep is very impressive. Anything Jesse does, I'm impressed. I gotta check out this
I'll send you.
the weed blower, whatever it is,
I'll send that to you when we're done here.
because
but,
I have to clean the garage. Our season's over, so now I gotta do some honey to-do list stuff. So I need a good blower.
Well, Jesse can hook you up. He's got connections. Located 8 miles south of Lake Linden on the Boojak Road, the Dreamland Restaurant is your choice for great dining. Family owned and operated for over 100 years. Whether you're in the mood for Mexican Monday specials, burgers, pizza, or Friday fish fry, Dreamland is your next stop. This is going to bring it to we're going to wrap up episode 128, which was
128.
as of
Very good,
this
guys.
time yesterday, was going to be just a figment of our imagination for a couple weeks while Oj is out polluting his body with cigars and beer and food and sunshine.
And he's loving every
He
second. of
is.
it.
I wish I was there. Oh, man.
You got responsibilities. You got to coach football.
And spring break's always been a good thing for us. Even taking the kids to Florida and all that, I always look for. This time of year, you got to get out of here in the winter.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed since you've been in town, but we got a little bit of snow.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
So
But no, it's a good relief to get out for a little while, and he'll come back sunburnt and broke, won't he?
yeah, I just hope he doesn't schedule his annual physical next week when he gets
He's
back.
smarter now.
Well, he did it one time right after deer season.
Oh jeez.
So hopefully,
That raised some questions,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, there's a lot of questions that we have about that young man, but
Yeah. We love Oj.
But
We love
Shane,
Oj.
appreciate you stepping up and pinching for Oj. Always good to see you and hang out. Don't get to do it enough, but we this podcast might be really taking off, and Oj might have trouble getting back in the hot seat over there.
You know what? I disagree. I think I've guaranteed Oj to a 3 to 5 year contract extension with them. Nobody can. You guys are a great team, so I'm not trying to take Oj's spot. And
Well,
hopefully we can do this in the summer.
that would be awesome.
In the summer, come up here and maybe get one of my kids on here and give some opinions on sports.
You know what we're missing from this? That we're really not missing. That we're just not including.
What is it?
Listen to the lyrics.
Listen to the lyrics.
So now I won't have to get whacked, my pee-pee whacked by the copyright police this week, and we can just listen.
Best one that I've heard on here is one by Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks. Landslide.
Landslide.
And a Bob Seger one. The Landslide, when he explained it to me, I did learn something about that. So, the listen to lyrics is good, but when you cut it down to 20 seconds, I think a lot of people do appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just because they're on every week. I got to update, clip it because we're technically violating copyright. But don't you think the artists would appreciate us doing that?
Oh, I think 100% they would. Yes.
So, but Shane, I appreciate you coming in here. This is going to be good. We'll get this up today and finish watching some hoops. You got a busy day today, and
yeah. Hey, I love the Bob Backon. How we started out. Love the
Yep.
Bob Backon. Great impact on our community. I know you feel the same way.
100%. See you, Shane.
Talk to you later, Crouchy.